All right, what up, speculators? I don't know if this stream's working right today. I think I have some music playing, but I want to delete it. I'm gonna try to remove it. Hopefully that wasn't too disturbing. All right, let's fire up the afternoon session here for our micro madness following the FOMC yesterday. They're liking what they heard today from some policy statements and deal. So news flow is keeping the markets a little bid. Thanks, Jeremy. My current positions are just short a little bit of Dow. Came up there, got outside the bands, and now coming back down. So I'll keep that up on the screen a little bit, and then I also have this this other look over here where I am short Bitcoin as well. That's in the upper right, and Bitcoin is up 5,000 today, following along with my prediction, which was we get over 100,000 and we don't look back. So we'll see. So any shorts in Bitcoin are for entertainment purposes only, given that I'm pretty long and strong, and I would prefer that to happen. Oh, good. Okay, so everything's working over there. I was working on the sound effects, and I still can't quite get that moving. All right, we got one more minute. I'll try to broadcast a teeny bit earlier so we can watch the open of the 2 central candle. I just ordered a headset so that I don't have to be worried about always talking into the mic. Right now my speakers aren't even working. But the sound should be pretty good. You shouldn't have to blast it or anything like that. You shouldn't have to be blasting it. Speaking of getting blasted, look at this ZT over here today. So no one's talking about it. I mean, rates are popping here. There's the ZN. I'm looking to buy some at 235s, 110, 235. I sold the 111 puts and have already been put those, so I'm managing a long position there. And then we have our extreme turn buy that should be getting us done here. So I will be holding this 2 lot that you can see I'm long from 103 spot 182. So we'll see what happens there. The offer zone is way up here. So that's where I would like us to go. Hope is not a strategy, but see if we can get up there. And on this screen, I also have my ebook. Remember, seems like a lot of people are returning every day. I appreciate that. But those of you who might be your first time here, Prop Done Right will get you done. And I got some exciting announcements pretty soon about
order filled.
My first official, use your words, Rod. My first official, hold on, I got, where do I have this? I have this in a lot of accounts. So let me just start to scale out of it a little bit here.
Order filled.
And I'll scale one here.
Order filled.
And then what we'll do is in these middle sets of accounts,
order filled,
that have a lot more risk budget,
order filled,
I will just hold these for a deeper target, which will be down here. I've been talking recently about multi-propping with the concept of doing some what ifs, right? Sliding doors. Now, as I've said, sliding doors does not mean jamming the door, sliding the doors right into each other and busting all the panes of glass. The analogy I'm working with here is if you get to the point where you can manage risk properly in a small account, you can lever yourself up by having a few accounts from one firm or a few accounts from multiple firms, maybe 2 or 3 from 3 firms, all on Trade of 8. Now you have 6, 9 accounts, right? Now that's not for everybody. Okay, so I'm not suggesting that you need to go out there and spend that amount of money. Diversification across a few firms might be a good idea. I have something, a little silly, which is, and I've shown this before, right? I have Apex, Blue Sky, Bullinox, Earn to Trade, Elite Trader Funding, Financial Network, Lilu, My Interactive Brokers, My Ninja Trader, My this, Take Profit, Tick, whatever. I mean, just, you don't need that. That's ridiculous. But what I'm showing is this sort of, and by the way, for those of you that say I don't trade in the afternoons, I trade in the afternoons when there's opportunity, so suck it. I don't know why I keep responding to the trolls. It just makes you want to respond to the trolls. Anyhow, and then that's also informed my decision as to leaving that Trade-Evade account up there with those things moving. I don't know if you guys find that useful. A lot of the time, most people say, no, I'd rather see the charts, right? I'd rather see the charts. So let's do a little, there's not that many people watching, but let's do a little informal poll. A 1, if you like kind of seeing this bullshit move over here because it shows you that I'm really trading. Okay. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Now I lost it. Where'd it go? Hold on. That's not good. Don't vote yet because I screwed it up. Now I need to, I guess I need to open it again. I think I closed it. I didn't mean to close it. Anyway, I think you're picking up what I'm putting down, so you can now vote. Do we want to see just charts, or do you want to have proof all the time that I'm in a trade? Hopefully you guys answer the right answer. 1 for just charts, 2 for have the P&L up on the screen. And the beauty of it is that we could potentially have both, of course. All right. So option 1, option 2. There's option 2 where we're in the short and you can see it moving. All right. We just want the charts. I hear you. Okay. There we go. All right. So we're on the charts here and my Kerpos is short the Dow Jones, looking for a bigger target. And what I was mentioning before I got sidetracked, and I get sidetracked a lot, so just deal with that. What I was mentioning before I got sidetracked was that what you have the opportunity here is to do some what-if scenarios, okay? Now, in every case, let's just say for sake of argument, you have just 3 accounts. We'll keep it simple. You got 3 accounts, okay? What I would suggest is you have the copier on for all 3, and you enter the trade for 1 contract or however you do it. If you do, multiple contracts at the time and then you scale it, it doesn't matter. But you're going to enter that position in all 3 accounts using the copier. Now what you're going to do is you're going to have your second and third account, or you can do it however you want to do. Enter it and then turn off the copier is what I would suggest. Okay, you enter, copied, turn off the copier, and now say, okay, I'm going to manage each one of these trades differently. The first one, maybe you are a scared nanny and you try to let it go to target, and I'm only going to talk about profitable positions, right? Because if they're unprofitable, you manage all the risks the same, right? We're talking about, I should have prefaced that, we're talking about profitable positions. Okay, so what you see on the right-hand side right here, this is a profitable position. And I still have it on in 4 accounts, all right? You could call it a runner, but it's not really a runner. It's just the original position that I haven't closed. Does that make sense? This is not a runner. It's just the original short from 763 in 4 accounts that I haven't closed it in yet. So you manage risk the same in all of them. And what you do now is you go, all right, I'm gonna be my normal self on this first one. Okay? Maybe you take profit too early, maybe you trail a stop, whatever. And then on the second and third one, and you could do different variations if you want, but let's say just on the second and third one, on the second one, you put in a stop and a target 1, and that target should be informed by whatever your strategy is. I can teach you what mine are. Mine would be if you're short from anywhere in the offer zone, okay? If you're short from anywhere in the offer zone, which is where this short is, your target is down here. Okay? So what we could do is your target's down there, right? Now this position is already profitable, so I'm not going to do the stop from there. But hopefully you're picking up what I'm kind of putting down, which is you're in this position, and on contract number one, in account number two, you can do something like this, right? Like, I'm just making this up, right?
Order submitted.
Buy stop there and a buy limit here.
Order submitted.
Okay. So that's account number two. And then in account number three, or something like this, here you can do a buy stop up here. I don't know. I'm just making this up, right? Who cares? A buy stop right up here
submitted.
And a buy limit down here.
Order submitted.
And leave, and then literally go to an account that's like flat. Do you understand what I'm getting at here? Then just go to an account that's flat and just, you're done. You have stops and targets in there. You already took profit in, like, the reason I'm not in this account in a trade right here is because I already took profit in all these accounts. Right? So this one I have a buy stop that's tighter. This one I have pretty much a 1-to-1, maybe. By the way, my style is that I essentially never let something go negative on single contract. I can get into that later. Like the whole turn a loser into winner, whatever. There's many times that I have profitable trades that turn into unprofitable trades within a framework of what I'm trying to do. If you are not able to suffer small givebacks or even decent sized givebacks within the right regime, then you're never really going to progress. You have to take heat in order to have inventory on for the bigger move, right? But what I'm going through is just various scenarios. Here's the benefit. And I also get questions sometimes snarky, sometimes from newbies that don't get it, which is, oh, this whole thing of multiple little counts, it's all silly, it's not real trading. Well, it does provide some learning opportunities that are not available. Like if I just had $10,000 or $15,000 in a single account, most brokers are not going to give you sub accounts to try different things. What you normally have to do in the past is what? What did you have to do? You had to switch into sim, right? And then as soon as you switch into sim, all the fear, uncertainty, and doubt goes away, and it just seems like you're a different person, and you either take on more risk, or all trades work, or all that kind of stuff, right? So I wanted to try to find if I have, hold on. Let's go up to Bitcoin real quick because this is working out. So on Bitcoin, I am just going to close it. I'm not going to let it go to target there. So that should get me out of all my Bitcoin. Yeah, there we go. And then, because I really want to have some inventory available for a push back to highs kind of into the close. Order submitted. Bitcoin does its own thing, obviously, it trades 24 hours a day, but the futures don't, right? The futures close with everything else. All right, so back over to here. Yeah, so I mean, I'm not making this up. I mean, I've done things like this way back in the past with multiple accounts. Sometimes where it really was actually hedging, where you'd be trading around positions and correlated instruments. That's not what we're doing here. All we're doing here is tricking ourselves into a way in which we can practice doing something in certain accounts and not in others. And then ultimately, you want to kind of get to the point where you're kind of managing all the things with the copier on similarly, because that's how you really level up and you get to, kind of bigger days. I'm going to stream here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and show this most days, gang. This is the kind of what we call the TDG way, acorns to oak trees method, and it's right there in front of you. And these are the 3 accounts that we have inventory left on this short Dow. And then 61 has no stop. Mr. Blutowski has no grade point average. So this one, let's just watch this one. This one has no So this is an interesting one. Here's how a lot of the time I would do something with this one. Not only not run a stop, but actually run
Order submitted.
Run some heat, contradicting what I just said, which is on single contracts. It's going to take me a long time to get out of this teaching training world of micros. I mean, I make these, when I say single, I would mean like a single mini, which we don't trade here. On a single mini, I would have a stop close to break even, and then I would put my re-entries up here. I don't need to let a profitable trade go all the way back up and get on more inventory. That's not necessary. But with micros, you have that flexibility. Now, most people watching probably know the ins and outs of the strategy, but let me just go through it relatively quickly over here. So go to this screen, which is a little bigger. So what account do we still have some inventory on? Here and here. Okay. So since I have a buy stop here, I'm just going to rest an order all the way up here at the +2s.
Order submitted.
These are just VWAP bands with 1 and 2 standard deviations from VWAP. So right here, this would be called the offer zone. Where is it here? So this is the offer zone. Okay. And in the offer zone, we want to be initiating shorts or taking profits on longs. That's it. Hey, Jeff, how are you? Okay. On the S&P, your order would be up here.
Order submitted.
I'm going to do this in a live account too and just show you something that's nice about Ninja, that we're adding this feature to some other platforms. But if I right click here and hit sell limit and then just hit the control button and hit that, I can attach it right to that indicator. So now this is attached right here. I don't have to move it around or worry I'm going to get the fill, whatever it is. Because if the market declines, this is obviously going to follow price a little bit. Okay, so we're in the offer zone here. And since I have a stop here, I would do things like
Order
this.
submitted.
This would be similar to how I would handle a full contract. So these are the accounts right here that we still got some inventory on in. All right, go ZT. Be less sucky. Not a whole lot to talk about. This is what it is. So markets went really, really quiet here. Everybody, all of my information about what I'm currently doing is right here on tradersdevgroup.com. So you can click on that. You want to know about the trade room, it's right here. 9:15 a to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, even though I'm on the left coast. And here's the website, bunch of free resources on it. You can check it out. So there you go. Wow. All right. How do I give like a badge to Mitchell? Checks in the mail. You know what would help on these streams is can you leave a comment in real time on the screen, on the stream, or only after it's over? Aside from the chat, if the comments are open, I guess I could go look on YouTube. If you have any questions that don't get answered or I miss them or what have you, and sometimes I get into mode where I'm just not looking at the chat, let's use the comments for that. Not as an advertisement for my stuff, although I don't mind it. More importantly, get your free copy of Prop Done Right and do a free trial, and then get your free copy of a 30-video course called Futures Fanatic Foundation Course, 30 videos, soup to nuts, everything about futures trading and a little extra, including like protein powders that I like. All right, I'm going to see if I can play a song because nothing's happening. So we'll see if we can play a song. I think this should work. I'm trying to figure this out. Why is it? It's not working
Order
out.
filled.
You guys aren't hearing anything, are you? This makes no sense to me. Maybe the way I have to play it is it playing anything? Is it playing? I want to play my music. I want to play the music.
Order filled.
All right. Dow's going back up. We only got it left in one account. So we're holding on this one to see what happens. All right, that volume shows that it's up. System sound. How about stream only? What does that do? Audio output stream only. No, then I wouldn't be able to hear it. I want to do it like this. That's a bummer. All right, maybe I should switch to OBS. Yeah, no tunes are playing. No tunes are a-playing. No tunes are a-playing.
Order filled.
All right, as we creep up here, I'm going to put the inventory back on in
Order submitted.
a couple other accounts
order
so we
submitted.
can kind of watch this.
Order filled.
3 lots here. Let's see who the copier is. I don't want to get it on in the live account.
Order filled. Order submitted.
All right, this level right here is also interesting because we could measure it. It's not quite going to be 100 bars. It's 87, but for me, it's good enough as another swing level to use.
Order submitted.
Profits here and here.
Order submitted.
Keep it pretty simple.
Order submitted.
All right, so naturally, anytime you're in trades there, the question is, okay, where's your stop? I go through this quite a lot. If you want to create an instant one-to-one, just measure from your entry point to your target. If you enter anywhere in the offer zone, your target is here. Let me just use the same arrow. Your target's right down here. Why do you have a target there, Rod?
Order canceled.
Get it out of the way. Okay, your target's here, 41,528. So just measure that. Okay, right to here, from here to here. 236. You want a one-to-one, put a stop 236 points above this. That's pretty catastrophic. You want a 2-to-1 reward to risk, put a stop 115 points above your entry here. Then you have 2-to-1, right? Or you could see the sensibility of how small this all is and make a decision once it gets up here and you have a 3-lot on. How much is it eating into your risk budget? You know, oh my God, what do I do? I'm down $90. I don't know, hit the close button or take one of the contracts off. We don't have to make this that complicated. It's not butthole pucker time when you're doing this. Now, you can get to butthole pucker time over here with this NASDAQ. This is a 16x4. Watch how this thing rips all over the place. You're just not going to see stuff like this as often in the Dow. You know, it's not much. It's 15 points that it just jaggered all around, right? Wiki ass candle. No, there's no tunes. I couldn't make them work. I think I have to almost delete them every time and re-import them. Let me see if that works. Definitely want to play some of these. Let's see here. This one used to just play. So maybe I have to turn it like that first, and then this could be way more intuitive. No, it's not working. Custom. Play 2 times? I don't want to play 2 times. I just want to play once. Play on scene enter. I don't want that. Oh, here we go. Ooh, that's a stupid way to do it. Play on scene enter. No, I don't want that. Let me see here. Show playback position. Force play on source show. So maybe if I say don't just do this. I was excited. I thought that was going to work. I was excited about that. All right, I don't know if we're going to make it all the way to 1 p.m. on the left coast here today. I mean, things are really slow, really slow. It'd be better if I could figure out how to play music. I'll try it one more time. I'm just going to do it this way. This is a high quality. All right. Used to just start playing. Yesterday it was working. At least you guys are meeting up and talking in the chat a little bit there. That's good. All right, maybe if I go like this and come back to this scene. No, I still don't think it's playing anything.
Order filled.
Hmm. All right. What indicator do you use to plot your swing highs and lows? So I used, it's just called a swing indicator, and the setting is 13 strength. So it's just called swing. You can get it on Ninja here. We have it on Tick Blaze and others as well. And the strength I have is 13. So it is strength setting is 13. So there you go. Good question. It's one of the reasons that, so I have the same strategy over here, which by the way, I am short that one Dow. Talk about looking for an extended target. Let me go to VWAP here, but on this strategy, I like the POC on the volume profile here. This is what we call a standing camel with, you know, 2 high points, high volume nodes, and then a little bit of a air pocket in between. And then my ad will be up here. I bought here and sold here. That wasn't too bad. I sold here and bought here. Wasn't too bad. And then still short one. Runaway trends. It's tough, Jeremy, to identify. I mean, I know what you're talking about this morning, but there's the interview I've been talking about with John Netto. He looks at things on a much bigger scale and talks about the regime we're in. Your job as a trader is to try to, as a day trader, is to try to break down little microclimates as much as you can, because a lot of the time I hear this, you know, this thing about runaway this or runaway that. You're generally, what people are referring to is just a swift move in one direction. So you want to try to back out of all of that and take a step back and go, okay, prior to that. Now I know in this environment, we're also trying to think about the catalyst, or what did Trump say, or why is it moving erratically like this? And there is an element of that right now. It's just been silliness for the last 3 months, right? Just total silliness. But you can adapt to this silliness by even, so look at what's on the screen right now, right? The Dow, what's on the screen right now. Did it go outside the bands? Yeah, for a little bit. Did you take heat all the way in here if you were short? Yeah. Heat for how much? I don't know, 200 points. What is that? $100 on a micro? You should be able to manage this, or just, you know, it's your risk budget's $300 and it moves $100 against you, whatever, just hit the close button so you don't eat into too much of your risk budget. I think you might have been talking about this move here, but let's look at the NASDAQ again for a second. With all this while you're in it, is this strategy working? Yes or no? Give me a 1 in the chat. I mean, is this, I know maybe some of you don't know, but there you go. You buy here in this zone and you take profits, or if you had nothing on, you short in this zone. And what turned out to be the case, the short is always much more treacherous than the long, right? Let me turn this to a red arrow now. The short is always more treacherous than the long. Now, here's something we were talking about this morning as to why you might not want to be short that much, even though I was somewhat favoring that. We are outside day up. This is the line right here that marks the prior session high. Right there. When you're outside day up, and this is how we started the session today, right? Right? This was all this morning. We pushed below it, but guess what? We never even got to T-line. Right? So all of this stuff here, you could take a snow day. Look for longs down here. I know it's a lot easier after the fact, but down here is the same level as right here. That's here. That's right here. You look to buy. If you miss the whole thing, and I hate doing these examples on the NASDAQ, but the NASDAQ tends to move a lot more. If you miss the whole thing, then depending on the rule set that you use and things like that, once we get back outside day up, you're in a snow day again. So there's just no shorts here. Just stay out of the trouble. But the easiest way to stay out of the trouble is just use something that's a little bit more manageable, says the guy in the index that actually did get outside the bands. All right, suck it, Dow. When you're first starting out or as you're practicing, try to just make it simple. And ultimately, you will have to understand the volatility profile. I was talking a little bit about regimes. Be able to identify micro regimes, because there'll be days in which the market can't get below VWAP on the downside or can't get above it on the upside when the market is trending down. Trending, right, on whatever time frame we happen to be talking about. So you'll be able to identify little micro regimes in which you can operate in, and you're not picking up pennies in front of a steamroller or all those silly things if you're doing these things properly. But until all that, just learn this strategy, and we'll just start with stay in your lane. You don't even have to know shit about the range trader to start. Just establish a daily risk budget. Trade the micro Dow. Take trades in the offer zone short. Take trades in the bid zone long. Take profit at VWAP. And then as you progress, what it means is that in this entire zone, you can look to get short if you want.
Order submitted.
I don't know, do that. Do this shit. I don't care. You want to really scale up? I'm going to get troubled for DCA and stuff like that. No. No, you're not. You show me that you trade like this. Now, maybe not 5. Okay, maybe not 5.
Order canceled. Order canceled.
Let's do 3. Let's do 3 in this $250,000 valuation. This needs to go up. Oops. It's hard to keep all this shit straight. Suck it, Dow. All right, now we can do the same thing. Watch. We can go, all right, you know what? In this account, I'm just going to take...
Order submitted.
I'm going to take it, right?
Order filled.
Okay. And maybe use this as a
Order
long.
submitted.
Look at all this crazy stuff I'm doing now, right? In that account, I'm going to take it. In this account, I'm going to wait for a little bit more of a move. So I've already locked in profits in one of them. I'm really, truly hoping for, and hope's not a strategy, but my hope is that this thing rips higher and gives me a fill at those 2 levels so I can just show you managing that if it happens. Because then I just look for some graceful exits. You'll learn a lot more from watching someone manage an unprofitable trade than a profitable trade. Someone was asking about the swings earlier. Sometimes my eye just goes to, and I've done this a lot on the S&P, where I just draw in other little zones, right? You're not going to see this on a 5-minute chart. It just doesn't show up. So for right now, and I don't care what iceberg lettuce order blocks and all this nonsense, doesn't matter to me. If you're going to be a technical trader And for the most part, scalper, which a lot of day traders should be, you don't need to be in the market all that long. You definitely don't need to be in the market on losers. Be very impatient with your losers. I have a whole video on a concept called the graceful exit. It's on my YouTube channel. Just go look for, just type in graceful exit. Because right now I'm racking up some stats that prop firms love, which is just holding winners. These trades have been winner the whole time, so I'm just holding them. Average holding time of my winners is outstanding because I will often campaign around price and hold winners.
Order filled.
All right, I hit target on another one. So now all I have it is left in this account and this account. Anyone in a similar position with me? Does anyone have a short on in the Dow? Nothing I do here or in my room is meant to be any kind of follow me or signal service or anything like that. But what I do want to do is practice what I preach, and what I preach is trade the Dow Jones. Give me one in the chat if you are in a position where you're short here. All right, cool. Let's see how it goes. Are you waiting for a VWAP touch? So what I'm going to do, so here's another decision that I kind of make, right? Is instead of taking target here on this account, I have one left here. I'm going to come up a little tighter. See if I can hit target there, and then this last one will be the runner. This one will be the runner. There you go. Adam says he loves the Dow. There's times where you guys don't. I got a lot of shit from a lot of you guys when like, oh, it's the Dow, and I can't get in sync with the Dow. And all right. Let's drag this into price.
Order
All right,
filled.
so we're out there. I'm going to close
Order
this in
canceled.
every account except for this last one. But I don't know if you guys can see this. These two top ones are PAs. They have balances of about 7,000. I'll get those up in the next 4 or 5 days. I'll get them to 158.5 or higher, right in there. And then I'll take another $2,750 out of them. Can you see the drawdown? I mentioned this today in the room. The drawdown's, of course, at that 150, 100. I will never, ever get close to that. Let me say this again. I am never, ever going to get close to that. That is now a cash printing machine. Okay? And the way I won't activate these 250s, but these 250s are just practice for me. But to get to 15,000, take you about 2 to 3 months doing this. And then you'll have a what is it? I don't know what the drawdown on those is, 7,500 or something. Maybe 8 or 10,000. I really don't know. I haven't had any 250s or 300s at Apex, maybe ever. I'm not sure. But you don't do those so that then you can trade minis. You do those so that you can then trade 3 to 6 micros across a couple markets. Suck it, Dow. Let's go. Let me do something else where I bring the whole thing on the screen just to, okay? See the whole thing. I'm not hiding anything. See the space down here? See the space down here? Not hiding anything. All these accounts are green. Didn't trade them in any two different directions. Here's all the connections. I didn't disconnect from an unprofitable thing. This is all I've been connected to today. Apex, Bullinox, Tradeify, Take Profit Trader, Interactive Brokers, NinjaTrader. Never before in the history of ever, and I've been doing it for 30 years, did you have the opportunity to have this kind of silliness going on. Am I recommending that people do that? Have 3 or 4 or 5 accounts at 6 or 7 different firms? No. But it's possible. And then all you got to do is pick any one of these accounts. I don't even care. Pick any one of them. Make them your lead account and trade them in account groups. And then ultimately, this account down here that I used to run with about a $15,000 balance, I didn't even need $15,000. And this account down here that I used to run with a $2,500 to $7,500 balance, I hate Ninja so much, I was like, I'm done. So I'm like, I'm going to leave this account at $1,250 and use it for data. So I don't even trade this one. Okay. And then here on, where is it? I lost where it was. And then over here, this is should we just drag this into price? And let's count how long this is going to take. Ready? Here we go. Boom. 1,000, 1,000. It sounds like it already got filled, but watch how long it takes their integration to, and you see how it still says I'm short one. Let's see if, now it went away. The world's crappiest integration. Check that out. Have you ever? That's just dumbass luck. 2 times today. Buy it. Ooh, I want this to be green. Green's a happier color. Okay. Buy at 41,673. Buy at 41,673. Yeah, if Bullinox or anyone says you can't put things in a copying group, then just don't do that. These Bullinox accounts, for me, I don't fund them, so I don't care. I've just used them for educational purposes and for testing on some other platforms. So the Bullinox are these BX whatever. I had a bunch of master accounts, traded them for a while, decided not my thing for right now, although Bullinox is a great firm for learning, and I listed them as one of the best ones for using for beginners because you can get a super cheap account and you can worry about total cost and activation fees and things later once they're active with their activation fee. They end up being a little bit higher. But anyhow, if there's any specific rules for any firms, just know what those rules are. My funded futures take profit. You can't trade during news at certain places, so just make sure you're flat. One of the things that I do, but I screw it up all the time, is I just don't log into any account during a period in which, I could accidentally have them in a copy group. So just log out of those accounts. So our quote-unquote runner, we've got a runner. Our quote-unquote runner is starting to do well. Who's taking it down to VWAP with me? I don't encourage you to purposely violate anybody's rules, but I really I don't understand how Bullinox would know, as long as you weren't copying to Bullinox. If you're using a Bullinox account as a lead and then using a Rhythmic platformless copier, they don't have access to those trades. To them, it just looks like you're copying. They allow copying within. You can use Replicanto within Bullinox accounts. All right, Adam's still in it. In it to win it at 41.535. Let's see. We got 2 more minutes. We got our MOC. Two more minutes. Corey, if you're watching, I tried my best to talk into trying my best to speak right into the microphone the whole day. Good. So hopefully the stream is helping your patients. What also helps your patients is some of the concepts that I was talking about, where if you already locked in gains in, let me close these.
Order canceled.
If you already locked in gains
Order canceled.
in these other accounts on the same trade, you know, you can hold for the glory. Yeah, one last thing on the Bullinox, working with Rhythmic. If you are copying trades to Rhythmic from outside, Rhythmic would be able to tell them that. If you are using Bullinox accounts as your lead accounts, if you will, and those signals are then going elsewhere, you'll be fine. But you don't want to copy to Bullinox. But either way, once you become the pros that you are, just get yourself a VPS, and you can do whatever you want. I got 4 of these. Run multiple instances. Here we go. Suck it, Dow. All right. I don't know if I'm going to have the patience. I probably will. Suck it, Dow. You know what I could do is I could have the room open and I could play the sound effects in the room, and then they're probably loud enough to come through on the mic. That's going to be the next thing to do. I'll just have the room open. Then you guys can be in the room. Are we holding? Another 6, 7 points? Here we go. I have a couple of them. I think the best value right now is still this silly one that has NinjaTrader in their name. Just because you get... They preload it with NinjaTrader and stuff. So I'm just using this NinjaTrader mobile one. Has nothing to do with NinjaTrader. If let me see, do I still have partners here? It's NinjaTrader mobile right here. So if you want to save $5 maybe, I don't know. I have no idea if that's a discount, but that's the one I use. Really, really bad name. They should have just called it Trader VPS. I think Trader VPS is a much better name. But they didn't ask me. All right, we are up $101. Are you ready? Here you go. Bring on the trolls. I've never seen you make money in the afternoon. You just come in. This is my favorite one. Bunch of comments about every day I tune in here and you're already up money. So it's probably just like bullshit screenshots. You get penalized for being up money. You're probably only showing the accounts that made money. That is correct. I'm showing all the accounts and they all make money. Every day? Nope. Not every day. I was showing this in the room today. I want to show it. I want to show it again because I think it's important. So let me just come over here. And I take a screenshot every day at the end of the day and the beginning of the day And these are all the end of day ones. So what I wanted to find was, hold on. Okay, so that's what typically sometimes a day looks like, you know, green, red, green. I should delete these. These are for my girlfriend's birthday. Got some sale information. Okay, this one, not interesting. These are just some screenshots of payouts. This one was interesting because I sent it to, God, hold on. Did we hit target? We're about to hit target. Let's just celebrate that for a second. Here we go. Here we go. Ugh. Ah. Here's how you guarantee that it hits target. You know how you do it? Here's how you do
Order
it.
canceled.
You go like this, and then you put a buy stop right above this swing, which is a meaningful,
Order submitted.
meaningless, totally meaningless, right? Makes no sense, no reason to put a buy stop there. It just happened to reverse, but it makes people feel like, oh, I put it above the swing high or the swing low and whatever. So at least we have, all right, there we go. So this is a guaranteed way to get it to go lower, because the first thing it'll do is go and stop me out on the buy stop, and then it'll go hit target. Welcome to this episode
Order
of Self-Deprecating, and we hit it. Boom. Did you guys all hit it? All right, now I want to go back to this for just a quick second. This was a screenshot that I showed Apex when I was making a case for what will now be another. Now they're really selling them off. Sell, sell, sell. What an easy fade in retrospect, right? Just such an easy fade. Anyway, having both long and shorts that are not hedges. Now, this is the screenshot that I wanted to show, and I showed this today in my room, okay? What's going on here? These three are evaluation accounts that do have $1,480, just about $1,500 daily risk budgets. When I get to that level, which is rare, and this is one that actually took it underwater, I just hit the close button, and that's it. I'm done. That's my risk budget. These are PAs, and my risk budget in there is $1,080, and this one I hit it, $1,080. But as you can see, the balance after losing $1,080 was $158. I was down, I was up near 159,000. In this account, almost close to 160. And then these are Take Profit Pro accounts that I have an $880 risk budget in, and they're smaller. They're 550,000s. And that's $800. And you just hit the close button. If you never lose big, then you have the opportunity to come in and do things like this, right? Or what most days look like. I want to try to find another. There you go. There's $1,000 and here's $700. Anyway, you get the idea, hopefully. And now they're really selling off. Does anyone still have some inventory on? Anyone have some inventory on still? My risk budget on my accounts is going to be a lot larger than where you need to be starting out. My risk budgets are about, on these prop accounts, they're about 15 to 30%. I hit them once every 50 trading days or so. And here's how you earn a larger risk budget, right? You need to be capable of putting up other numbers. This is just an average day. This is very similar. Up a couple $100. I didn't trade that. I had to go get a massage and have Pilates today, So if you have to do that, you can't trade that actively. But the best thing is if you can operate within 20% risk budgets. Within 20% risk budgets. Start out with 10, and you don't get to go to 20 because you grew your account. You go to 20 when you have 4 or 5 days that exceed your risk budget. The more they exceed them by, the more you have the potential to, because look, as I said a million times, we all know how to take stops. We all know how to lose. The hardest thing to learn is how to win. And to learn how to win, to learn how to be profitable and not consistently profitable, as I say all the time, the only thing you consistently have to do is not lose big. Once you do that, then you put yourself in a position where you can and you will eventually, with enough screen time, get into a flow state where the matrix will just start to make sense. And then as soon as you look back on your stats for the month and you go, wow, instead of make 100, lose 150, make 150, lose 500, make 200, lose 700, make 300, lose 900, you start to see a pattern of make a little, lose a little, make a little, lose a little, never lose a lot. Then one day, wow, I made $640 today trading 3 micros 9 times. Okay, do that 3 or 4 more times during the course of 22 trading sessions. And now you can maybe take your risk budget up to 15% from 10%. All right, we got 1 more minute and we're closed. Yeah, look, nice sell-off. Nasdaq went all the way down to break VWAP here.
Order filled.
Uh-oh. Oh.
Order filled.
All right, let me go and cancel all my orders.
Order canceled.
Yeah, shit.
Order canceled.
There we go. So let me switch over to this screen just for a quick moment to end up here. So this is the Dow that we're trading. Again, I know it's easy after the fact, right? It's so easy after the fact. But after this original break, we really couldn't get back up to halfway into the offer zone. Never really threatened the +2s again. So just favor some shorts here. I'm going to be broadcasting here on YouTube from noon to 1 Pacific Standard Time, the last hour of the cash session in the US, Tuesday through Thursday. Then what you guys really should do is download the ebook, Prop Done Right here. And then in there, it will be plenty of references to get back onto a trial of the trade room. And the trade room is Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday, 6:15 a.m. on the left coast, 8:15 Central. Adjust for your own time zone for about 90 minutes. And in there, we actually have the stuff working, meaning the songs and tunes. All right, everybody. Thanks for your time today. If I didn't answer your question, or if we want to spread some positivity that there are, communities out there that are trying to do this right and support each other and make money and share positivity and all that good stuff, then let's get some positive comments going. We can do it in the comments thread. I'll answer any questions that you have. It does help offset. Most of the time, live streams don't get many comments at all, except from the trolls of the world. And the other thing I wanted to mention today that I highly recommend, if you did not already see it, is make sure you catch the interview with my friend John Netto. This is probably the best interview that's ever been on this guy's channel, because this guy's a bit of a whack job. But
And
go
then
check out.
potentially the volatility and then the return, but the net number goes one step beyond that.
It does. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for
Okay.
sharing that.
So keep in mind, this is going to be, I don't mean to be patronizing, but a lot of what he talks about is going to be over the heads of a lot of traders, even experienced traders. But I want you to focus in on how he discusses risk and how he discusses the ability to, he has a great line where he says something like, the stronger and better your brakes, the faster you can drive the car. Right? Whole idea of staying in control. He was in the Market Wizards. A good friend of mine lives here in Las Vegas. If you want to talk real traders, this is what a real trader is. Very different than what we're doing in here. What we're doing in here is learning how to manage risk on much shorter time frames where there's a lot more randomness to it. It's a totally different game, but I think you'll get a lot of good stuff out of listening to that. So check that out if you have not already, okay? That'll be it. Stay green, trade like you mean it. Thanks, everybody. And download the ebook. Find a way to get on my list, because if you get on my list, you'll be notified of not only when I'm streaming, but also the fact that we have a free look going on, so you can join the room tomorrow. Let me just put the password in here in case anyone cares. The password for tomorrow is Pulse. But if you're on the list, I'll send out an email reminder to remind everybody that tomorrow is the last day of the free look, where you don't even really have to sign up for anything. Just come in and use that. But if you want the reminder, you got to be on the email list, and I'll send you an email. That is now going to be it. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow. Be good. Bye.